Hey everybody, Dan God of Thunder here, taking a look at the Awesome Games Done Quick 2020 schedule. For those of you who don't really know me, don't know some of the stuff I've done outside of what you see on YouTube, I have done a bunch of speedrunning stuff. I've been to a bunch of these events. I haven't been lately, mostly because I have limited amounts of paid time off, only have so much disposable income, and I've kind of wanted to do other things with my life. Not an insult to GDQ. I don't have an issue with them as an organization or as an event. On the whole, they don't do everything perfectly, but that's a discussion for another day. But I kind of wanted to take a look at the schedule and see, is this going to be a good event? Is this going to be something that is interesting and worth watching? The consensus that I saw from Twitter, and Twitter's super negative, is that no, but that was before the schedule came out, when it was just a games list. And I think the schedule is a much more important and useful way to look at it. So you see everything holistically. How is it going to flow? How is everything going to play together? And what I'm looking at is the introduction, the first 8 hours or so, a bunch of really good games. And then the 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time block being good. Because those are your anchors, those are the prime times, those are the biggest portions of the event. So what you're seeing here is Eastern Standard Time. I am in Georgia. So let's take a look. We're starting off with a Hat in Time, which they always start off usually with a platformer of some sort. Hat in Time is pretty good. This will be a 47-minute race. So they're starting off with a race, which is actually pretty interesting. Hat in Time isn't maybe not what I would have picked as an opener, but it isn't a bad one. This is, for those of you who are not familiar, this is kind of a love affair to the collectathons. If memory serves, I might be wrong. Sorry. Not bad. I don't know Flarebear or Enhu, but still a good one. Metroid Zero Mission, they're getting in Metroid in early. Mega Man 7, obviously Mega Man franchise. I am biased. I do like Mega Man quite a bit. And PJ is an incredibly entertaining runner. I'm a little surprised they have him going on 2 hours into the event before they make sure everything fucking works. So that's going to be fun. Ratchet & Clank is another popular franchise. Never got into it myself, but I do know there's a big fan base for that. Star Wars Escape from Yavin 4 is kind of a weird game until you realize Covert Muffins are running it. Covert Muffins is one of their more preferred hosts. He comes off a little artificial if you don't know him, but he's actually that energetic and that go all the time. It's actually just who he is. So they really like him, and that's why he has one of these more prime spots. Binding of Isaac, Super Mario Bros. 3, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, that takes us through what's, to be honest, a really varied and really strong opening half the first day. And Dino Crisis 2, and kind of here we're going into the early morning shifts. We've got the Myst series, and a couple of random games it seems like they just couldn't fit anywhere. Bomberman Hero is a game I like quite a bit. Chameleon Twist, Razor Freestyle Scooter, but that's a quick run. You have to realize a lot of these games that they put into these graveyard shift blocks are experimental runs to see and gauge interest and kind of see how do these runners do, how does it work. Starting around 8 a.m. here, Omni Gamer, very big name, especially amongst veteran speedrunners. Kind of like a speedrunner. Skyblazer, Legend of Mystical Ninja, ActRaiser. So this is the 16-bit from 723 to about Donkey Kong Country 3 is a 2-hour run for 103%. Okay. Until 1 p.m., that's going to be a 16-bit block. Mario Luigi Superstar Saga is kind of 16-bit-ish. Then afterwards, the Sonic block, which is 1, 2, 3 games. Alright, I actually don't know what the bonus games are. I apologize. And they're giving Fallout and Doom the primetime spots. So if I remember correctly, the Fallout Anthology, all being done by one guy in 2 hours and 5 minutes. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. There might be New Vegas in there. If there don't, I might be wrong. But that's interesting that they're going to put Fallout and Doom into this prime time. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if and obviously that's just my own personal preference. I don't know what the consensus was, but I'm not certain on this as a kind of your primetime anchor. And Bayonetta 2 coming in, that makes a lot of sense. That's kind of getting a later slot. Ditto for Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and that brings us into Tuesday at this point. Mummy Demastered, Hotline Miami, Chippy, Crotel Renovations. I've actually never heard of these games, and they're all PC, so I don't know if this is just like a... All of this is PC here. I don't know if this is just like a random PC block that they couldn't fit anywhere else. This is your 8-bit block, and 8-bit block maybe. Adventures Alolo, Adventure Island 2, Hebriki? I've never heard of that game. Ninja Gaiden 2 Race, and moving in... Looks like they really couldn't... There's really no theme around here. Because you have Terraria, bonus game, and Pokemon Sapphire, and Super Castlevania. All of them are good games. Terraria is a little weird to get this kind of a good slot. I'm actually a little surprised that they put a slot like that prime there. But then it's Legend of Zelda. That's taking up pretty much the entirety of that, which is fine. I think that's 1, 2, and Link to the Past. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did I count 11 names? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I counted 11 names. I don't know how they're doing that with 11 people. Unless 2 of them are going to be dedicated commentary guys. And then Final Fantasy VIII is pretty much taking us through for the next 8.5 hours. Like it or leave it, this has kind of been their experiment they've done. It worked well with 7. Controversy aside, I don't know if it's going to work as well with 8. I don't think 8 is quite as good of a game. It's not as iconic, but we'll see. Maybe that works. But it's definitely right to give this the butts o'clock slot from 10:30 to 7:30. Well, that's interesting. We have a Sega Genesis block starting here. That's actually really cool. I don't think we've had just a Genesis block where that's like the only linking thing together lately. Let's see. Then going into Contra, Blazing Chrome, Cybernator. A bunch of games that don't really, as far as I can tell, don't really have a common thread. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. And then they're going to anchor this with... Okay, I kind of wish they put Ocarina of Time and Cadence of Hyrule. Those are both really good primetime games. Especially 100% for Legend of Zelda. But I think this might have been better if they put it here or swapped out this Mega Man 4 through 6 and the bonus game. Just so you can have all the Zelda rather than like piecing out Zelda pieces. Sorry, piecing out, yeah. You know what I said. Mega Man 4 through 6, any percent relay. Kind of random, but Mega Man 4 through 6 is really good. Third bonus game. And then Super Highlight Kicks. This is Awful Games Done Quick. That's a good one. Hoshimo Hito is a really good one. DeWolf is really good with that. Don't know Sword of the Blackstone. Don't know Castle of Dragon. Wild Animal Sports Day. I feel like that's probably a Flash game. I think this might be the same people that did that bear driving game a year ago. Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle is really bad and really, really funny. This is actually going to be probably the some of the best stuff. I think it ends probably here with Dr. Hauser or Normie's Beach Baby-Rama. I'm not sure which one. Hopefully this is appropriate to show. They probably have figured that out. Probably. But that's actually everything I'm seeing here. Those are all really bad, and even the games that I don't really know that well, I know who the runners are, and it'll be funny. So this is early morning. No, I think it's probably starts. I don't know Dr. Hauser at all, but Night Cry sounds like that's going to be a horror game. Fatal Frame, Resident Evil 4. This is kind of like your pseudo horror block. Last of Us and Resident Evil 4 really aren't true horror games, quote unquote. Is that a 7-minute? That's a 7-minute estimate for Last of Us Left Behind. I'm actually curious about that one. That's a 15-minute setup for a 7-minute estimate. I don't know how that works. Jack 2, Spider-Man platformer. This is the platformer block. Earth Defense Force 5 with half coordinated. Yeah, this is kind of your platformers. Let's see. Then we have Fire Emblem Three Houses kind of shoved in there. It's a good game and it's very popular. So I get why it has this. I get why it has a spot, and I get why it's primetime spot. But that's kind of an odd. You're going from Devil May Cry to Fire Emblem to Destiny, to BioShock. So this is like your PC shooter block, or I'm not sure what they're going for. But you've got your Thursday anchor of Fire Emblem, Destiny, and BioShock in a bonus game. That's actually not bad. It's just I don't really know if that flows together well, if that really makes people want to sit down for like 3 hours. Okay, this is the indie block here, starting up with Subnautica, Talos Principle. Subnautica, I think, is still technically indie. Squidlet, Action Hank, Super Fancy Pants Adventure, Gato Roboto, blah blah blah. Yeah, this is all of your indie PC games that are really cool, but no one's ever heard of them, so they're not going to bring in any money. So now we're on Friday. Starting at 10 a.m. Pokemon X and Y. So they're going to have X and Y and Sapphire. That's kind of cool. X and Y, Mega Man X4 and X, and that's all they're showing for the X series. So they kind of spaced out Mega Man 2, Mega Man as well. So they really, little surprise on that. Wind Waker, even more spacing out, even more dissemination of Zelda, which it's interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. TASBot coming in with Mario Bros. 3, Mario Bros. 2. Super Mario 64 randomizer, Mario World. So your prime time here is going to be TASBot. Pretty much all of it's going to be Mario related, and that's actually pretty good. That'll be worth watching. And then in the afternoon, you've got Mega Man X. Dark Souls taking over from there. Let's see, late night stuff. Clone Hero, Guitar Hero Showcase for 40 minutes at 6 in the morning. I guess they're not looking at this quite as favorably as they would like Tetris the Grandmaster when they did that, because that's always been a primetime game. But that's actually an interesting thing to have at that time spot. I would have thought that would have gotten a better spot. Ditto for Sekiro, which I thought might have swapped, probably would have been better in this Dark Souls spot here at 9:50. Sekiro getting a pretty good spot there. And then they're ending this with what is kind of interesting. They're ending it with Mario Maker, Link to the Past, randomizer. So another 2 randomizers in this one. And then Super Metroid Impossible, which I've never heard of. I can take some guesses based off the name. And what I guess I don't know, so right now Oats and Goats doing Metroid Impossible is the finale. But they're acknowledging they're going to add 7 more hours of runs. So does this mean that everything I've just talked about is full of shit? Or does this mean that they really don't know, or are they actually going to tackle it all at the end? So the finale is this game that they kind of shoehorned in for someone who didn't submit initially at the last minute. I don't know what that means. I'm really curious about that. I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that's bad. We'll see how that goes. I don't know how I feel about Metroid Impossible. I feel like what they need to do is they do need to add another 2 to 3 hour, or maybe a 4 hour RPG into this. The only RPG getting any sort of representation is Final Fantasy VIII, and I know that is a long one, but they don't really have anything that's a good finale end cap like they always traditionally do, and that's something I think they're missing that they might want to look at. I just don't know if what they can do with just a 7-hour block to play with. Overall, there's like 2 days. I don't think what they have scheduled for Saturday is very good as an end cap. Mario Maker 2, Link to the Past, and Super Metroid obviously are good, but I do think it needs something as a nightcap to that. Friday, I think, has a very good prime time, and there's some stuff here. Some of it's obviously subjective. I think the Thursday one, kind of a little bit weird. And then Mondays, I think falls flat, but I know there's probably going to be a lot of people that are going to say that having all of the Fallout and, Doom, is a really good combination on Monday. To me, I think this is a pretty good schedule. Were there some really good games they missed? Yeah, there obviously are. GDQ gets like 2 months worth of games every time that they open this up. And they've got to pare that down into a week. Less than a week, because they have the setup time. So I think it's interesting. There's definitely some stuff there that I'm going to check out. There's definitely stuff I'm going to watch. I will host it while it happens on my channel, twitch.tv/Dan God of Thunder, when I'm not streaming myself. Either way, let me know what you think about it in the comments. Make sure that you like, make sure that you subscribe, make sure you turn on notifications, make sure you blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I'll catch you later. Take care.